They called him a storm in the ring, a machine built for one thing: destruction. In every fight he moved forward, a relentless force that never, ever looked back. Blood, bruises, broken bones, none of it seemed to touch him. Reporters wrote that he was born without a heart, a man devoid of feeling. But they were wrong. They didn't know the truth. He once had one. Years ago, a much younger version of him stood before his mother, his hands small and clean, and made a promise. "I'll never fight again, Mom," he'd said, his voice earnest. He meant it with every fiber of his being. But poverty has a way of ignoring promises. It's a relentless opponent that doesn't play by any rules. When his mother fell ill, the medical bills piled up like mountains, casting a dark shadow over their small apartment. He worked every odd job he could find, but it was never enough. The promise he made began to feel like a luxury he couldn't afford. The day she died, a part of him died with her. The warmth she had nurtured within him turned to ice. The world, once colored with her love, faded to shades of gray. The boxing ring, the very place he had sworn to abandon, called to him. It offered an escape, a way to channel the raging emptiness inside. So he returned. The ring became his home, and pain became his only language. He didn't just fight his opponents. He fought the ghosts of his past, the memory of his broken promise, the suffocating grip of grief. With every victory, his reputation grew. He wasn't just a boxer, he was a phenomenon. His opponents didn't just lose, they were dismantled piece by piece. His face, a stoic mask, never betrayed an ounce of emotion. Not joy, not triumph, not even a flicker of remorse. He would land a final devastating blow, watch his opponent crumble to the canvas, and then turn and walk away without a second glance. The crowds roared his name, but the sound was distant, muffled, as if coming from another world. He was isolated in his own cold reality. One night, under the blinding lights of the arena, he faced a young, hungry fighter. The kid had heart, he'd give him that. But heart wasn't enough against the hurricane that was him. The fight was brutal, a symphony of leather on skin. In the final round, he cornered the kid and unleashed a torrent of punches. The final blow sent the young man crashing to the mat, unconscious before he even landed. The referee waved it off. Another knockout, another win. He walked back to his corner, the familiar roar of the crowd washing over him. But this time something was different. His gaze fell upon the canvas, to the exact spot where his opponent's head had rested. There, shimmering under the harsh lights, were the faint, wet tracks of tears. The kid had been crying from the pain, the defeat, the shattered dream. He stared at that spot, and the world around him went silent. The roar of the crowd, the voice of his cornerman, the clang of the bell, it all faded away. In that small, damp patch on the canvas, he saw not an opponent, but a reflection. He saw the boy who had made a promise to his mother. He saw the pain he had inflicted not just physically but emotionally. He saw the very desperation that had driven him back into this life. For the first time in years, a tremor ran through his calloused, tape-wrapped hands. His jaw, perpetually clenched, began to quiver. The dam he had built around his heart, brick by painful brick, started to crack. He thought of his mother's smile, the warmth of her hand, the love in her eyes. He thought of the promise he had broken, not out of malice, but out of a desperate need to survive. A single hot tear escaped his eye and traced a path down his scarred cheek. It was a foreign sensation, a ghost of a feeling he thought he had buried forever. Then another followed, and another. Standing there in the center of the roaring arena, the man they said was made of stone, the boxer who couldn't cry, finally did. He wasn't just crying for the kid on the canvas. He was crying for the boy he used to be, for the mother he had lost, and for the heart he had just found again. That night he left the arena not as a champion of the ring, but as a man beginning the long journey back to himself. The storm had finally broken, and in its wake, there was a quiet, cleansing rain. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If it moved you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. It truly means the world. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.